this week, and to get a good draft.
Just so you know,
Okay.
all the tires went up a little bit to cover the cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the old fees in front of me.
I'll get 20 seconds. Jim and Maureen are waiting.
Ah, thank you.
It's close enough. Being 5 o'clock, I will open the select board meeting on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. Changes to the agenda.
We have an addition of an excavation tax shield and, oh,
We're not
we're
gonna,
not gonna remove, so that's not a change, you just
Yeah.
cross that out.
yeah,
So the second change is not happening.
right. Okay, so we're gonna start with a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing to amend the transfer station fees under RSA 41-9A.
Do we need that to be a motion?
Second?
Oh, open it? Okay. Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes?
Prentice, yes.
We're now open for public hearing. Essentially, this is just to raise the fees for tires so that we're not losing money anymore. We were being charged,
What
in
about
some,
wants to see the new fees?
I have it.
Do you have them?
Yeah, thank you.
okay, in some cases, we were being charged more to haul them away than we were collecting, so we needed to adjust them. And we have a list of them, which you're welcome to see if you need to. But,
And I think the only one that doesn't cover our cost is the bicycle tires.
oh, right.
But
That's just,
if you're charging already too much for a bicycle tire, they're gonna put it in their trash, which they probably are anyway. So we kept that one a little bit under. I think it costs us $2 and we're charging it on. But it's covered by the others.
Is it just the tires that are being changed? That was the only changes?
Yep.
This
for
time?
now, yeah. Yeah. Yes, Becky.
You do realize when you motion that all those fees are in the transfer station policy and procedure? It's online, so they'll all have to be changed in your policy and procedure as well, so you might want to make your motion to include that change in the policy and procedure.
Oh, do we need to,
Okay.
Okay?
okay, thank you. So we need a motion to accept these.
I make a motion to accept the new transfer station fees and to change the transfer station policy procedures to reflect the new fees.
Second. Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Done. Go on to new business.
Do we have to motion to come out of the public hearing?
Yes.
Oh, we do? Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call
Did you
vote.
say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
We're out of public hearing.
502. I say 502.
5:02.
Great.
Thank you. We have a department head report with Fire Chief Halkard.
Good evening. I can't remember if I told you last time I was here, we got one new EMT, and New Hampshire Employment Security has a program that they will reimburse us for the tuition, which was $1,100. And if that EMT is still with us in 6 months in good standings, she will get $1,000 from the state as a recruitment and retention
Oh, excellent.
incentive. And I just got there to get my paperwork out of the box, and Elaine finished everything and sent that in. Been very busy today, so I'm a little bit late. 275 calls so far this year. What we were talking about, 32 of them have been at the same residence that haven't been legit calls, most of them. And I did talk to Elderly Services guy on a different call, and if we can't figure something out, he said to give him a call, and he's dealt with it before. I talked to the State Bureau of EMS. There are departments in the state. The town passes an ordinance with the option to bill for like lift assists or nonsense stuff, and it pretty much eliminates those calls, from what I'm being told. And as far as I've gotten is downloading some sample ordinances. I haven't even read them yet. Been very busy. During that storm, we had 25 calls in a 24-hour period. Matt Bowman took the day off from work to help me out that day. The only challenge is, there's been 2 calls. There simply isn't any ambulances available. One of them, I got Senator Rossby to come out, because during the day, by law, you have to have 2 licensed personnel on the bus to transport. And during the day, usually I'm alone. There's another one, but I got a hold of Matt Bowman, and he went and grabbed our ambulance for it. Everything's going fine. I got the final specs for engine 3, the Wanna Lancet engine, today. So hopefully we can move forward on a contract on that real soon. Get that going. That's $550 bill a day. Bill at least 550 days out. The ambulance or rescue truck replacement, they have found a chassis and got that. That's scheduled to start building in last quarter 24, delivery first quarter 25.
For the ambulance?
Yes. That is ordered. And they did take the 7,500, put that back in. I gotta be careful. We have, the only grant we have submitted right now is the radio grant. And apparently FEMA is making phone calls to whoever is on that SAM account and trying to get information. I'm being told they may or may not try to lead you down the rabbit hole. So I've talked to Keats. If I get the phone call, basically, if you know the answer, that's fine. If you don't let them steer you in a direction. We got a meeting tonight. One kid who's moving into town, he's got Fire 2 and a bunch of Fire 3 certs. He's an EMT basic, really good kid. He's full-time on a northern department. And we got a paramedic that used to do 911 all the time. And then with his business, he just does transfers and he misses it. So he's gonna be there tonight to apply,
great.
which will be real good.
Yeah.
Saturday, we have open house from 10 to 2. I don't know what's on the menu, but they got tool demonstrations and blood pressure checks and a bunch of stuff planned. Everything's going good. That's about all I got. I didn't have time. I gave Richard a hand. We washed off a bunch of bridges and I had to fill the truck with water and fuel. Just got back.
Good.
So you said 275 calls so far this year. Is that up or down or about the same?
Up. It'll be interesting. We've had 2 big fires since the last time I was in here. One was at Hancock Lumber, now owns Madison Lumber Mill, and it just so happened I was pretty close to our engine 4, so we got there first, and that truck did all the work. Everything, it went really good.
I was in the sawdust hopper.
Yeah, it was pretty much contained to that, a little bit in the building. And then last Saturday was 20.2 or 0.8 something acres in Effingham. And I mention that because our calls are up, those 2 ignorant, belligerent storms at the end of the winter. We needed the snow, but that hit us pretty hard. And this seems to be a weird brush fire season. It almost seems it came real quick. In a matter of days, 2 streams on my property stopped running and it dried right out. So that one in Effingham last Saturday was just like perfect storm. There was a good wind and everything, the surface is dried out, so it went quick.
I had a brush pile to burn, and 3 weeks ago, it was a big enough pile that I needed a Category 3 permit, and they were available, and I put it off, and then last week, they weren't available.
Believe me, the phone calls I got when the state, if the state is nervous and our district ranger is on a 30-day deployment somewhere, yeah, they shut that online down for
Yeah.
Cat 3s. They may or may not even do Cat 1s or 2s. Also from here, since the last time, I've done, I believe it's 10 place of assemblies, one educational, child care inspections, and a couple of businesses also. And we've been busy,
Yeah.
call-wise.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, thank
thanks.
you.
That was easy.
We will move on to transfer station staffing. Do you wanna?
I guess, I can tell you the list of orders. First, it's Glenn. Accepting his
Oh, yeah,
resignation.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
folks.
Rich, thank
See you,
you.
Richard.
First thing on that is that Glenn Johnson has turned in a letter of resignation. So he is done as of tomorrow, right?
Actually, the 11th.
May 11th.
Oh, the 11th,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. And so we were kind of scrambling, because at the same time, almost at the same time, Alan had taken a job as the supervisor of the Freedom Transfer Station. So we got very short-handed all of a sudden. But we've had some people step up. Rick came to our rescue and went back over there to run the place for last weekend. Was it the weekend before too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Alan came for a day.
And Alan came back for Wednesday.
A couple of Wednesdays,
Yeah.
because he was there this Wednesday as well,
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
there.
Do you need a motion to accept Glenn's retirement letter?
Yep,
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to accept Glenn Johnson's retirement letter.
Second.
Effective May 11th.
Okay, roll call vote.
Did you say-
conversation first.
Oh, conversation first, yeah.
I think we should take a minute to, for the record, thank Glenn for 30-something
Something.
years of dedicated, hard, long work, transferring us from one site to another, and training a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think he, you know, it's a hard decision to make for him, and I'm grateful for all the time he did put in on behalf of the town.
I second that sentiment. Roll call
Who
vote.
seconded? Carl, did you second?
I did.
You did.
Did you say yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Thank you, Glenn. But we have some other people stepping up to
Yeah.
take over the duties.
Yeah, so the next, motion to hire, Jason Ferrara, who
Okay.
you interviewed with, Rick and Emery last week, and he was,
And he's ready to start, and he'll fill
he'll
Alan's
start on May
slot.
11th.
Okay.
Yep, so that's the first,
Okay. Make a motion to hire, what's his first name?
Jason.
Jason Ferrara.
Second?
Do we have to say the hours and
He'll be working, he's permanent part-time at $20 an hour.
permanent part-time at $20 an hour? Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Did you say yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Okay, then it is the per diem folks, Will Johnson
No,
and,
Robinson.
Will
Sorry.
Robinson.
Will Robinson and,
Paul Libby.
Paul
Paul
Libby.
Libby.
And they are both, per diem at $20 an hour.
I move to hire Will Robinson and Paul Libby on a per diem basis at $20 per hour.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes. And they both have experience and have both worked at the transfer station.
Previously.
Previously,
Yeah. And Paul has some equipment operating
right.
experience, so that's good.
And then finally, bringing Ernesto up to par with
Right.
the rest of the.
I move to increase Ernesto's wage to $20 per hour.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Doucette, yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Since we're making these new hires at 20, it wasn't really fair to Ernesto to leave him lower, so that's done.
And I think that was it for the transfer station hires. Yep.
No, to approve the
Oh,
job description
yeah,
and
you
post
need to-
Glenn's job.
Yep. So you all have that and have reviewed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Made a couple of changes, but it looks good.
Okay, so somebody wanna make a motion?
A motion that we approve the job description and post it. And the salary range, we had talked about a range of 23 to 27, I think.
Yeah, and just so people know, I surveyed through the listserv, and the average right now is about that number.
Which
23 to
20, 26.7 is kind of average on the towns around us.
Okay.
So depending on experience,
So,
I'd say 23 to 28.
okay.
That's my motion. Dollars per hour.
We have a second?
second conversation.
Mhm.
Do we need to include though in this conversation where we're posting it? Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't.
In the motion or?
I don't think we have to.
Okay.
I think we should, in case Keats finds some really good place we haven't thought of right now, we make the motion.
Okay.
So it would be in the Conway Daily Sun, I assume?
Conway Daily Sun, NHMA website, the Exchange, our website.
Our website, yeah.
We could put it in the Laconia paper if we thought that would pull in other candidates.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll save that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Old business. We have a lease amendment for the TCNA, Tamworth Community Nurse Association, for their new building. And I make a motion to accept the lease amendment.
Is this the same item we voted on at town meeting? Or is it something
What was voted on
different?
at town meeting was that you had the authority
To do
to
it.
engage in a discussion about the lease amendment.
Okay. I'll second it
Don't
then. It
have-
simply reflects the new building and the status.
Right, and the fact that some of the things have changed. They have their separate electric meter. Of course, they have solar on the roof, so that won't be a big deal, but they're covering a lot of the costs that they didn't necessarily cover in the past.
New septic.
Yeah, they put a septic system in, so they won't be adding to that.
What is, I have a question on this entranceway. They're gonna be dumping right at that handicap ramp. When I
thought
walked
they-
around here today.
I thought they covered the handicap ramp with a roof.
I think you're talking
How,
about,
how are we gonna get here?
Oh,
Like, for
this
example, my
one.
wife.
Into this building,
That-
this part.
Correct, yeah. There's that, whatever that entrance is closest to the main road, that they're gonna be getting right off that ramp onto
Oh.
that,
That's you mean the loading, that's their loading dock?
is that what that is? Does that
Yeah.
have some-
That's for making patient transfers
Well,
to the back
or
of any
equipment.
ambulance.
equipment deliveries
Yeah.
and
So
whatnot.
it doesn't get used that often.
Say that again?
It doesn't get used that often.
it's a loading
It's a loading
dock.
dock. At the end of the ramp?
Can I ask a question?
The ramp's
before you-
not finished. It's not finished.
What he's talking about is the board that gets into the building.
Oh, right now.
Versus, the railings used to come all the way out.
Right, right.
And it was flat going in, there was no board
Right, right.
to go up, it's a curb, and that's what he's concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
talked
but
about.
I don't
doing
think
it.
that part's finished yet, Bruno. I think they'll address
It's
that.
gonna, the way I saw it, it's gonna dump right onto where the handicap people are coming into this main office.
The water.
We can
Oh,
look at
the water, and
The
the
water.
water and snow,
No,
okay.
he's
Oh.
talking about
The storm drain that used to be there is no longer.
Mhm.
Because there
Okay.
used to be a storm drain
Yeah.
before the handicapped rampway, and when they put up their building, they took out one of the storm drains that feeds into the Tamworth sewer system.
All right, we'll look at that then.
Yeah, it just looked strange to me.
Yeah,
Okay, make a note.
okay, I got it.
Thank you.
Can I ask what the town is gonna pay for? I mean, I know before it was the lights, it was a lot. What is?
Yeah, no maintenance on equipment. I mean, if their furnace goes out, that's their problem.
So they're paying their own heat now,
Their own
All the
air
utilities,
conditioning,
Yeah.
And the-
lights,
and the-
phone, internet.
Yeah,
The town's not paying any of that.
no. They felt they had to do that because it's a big project and they knew it would be.
And Rick won't have to do their shoveling, they're gonna do all of that?
Rick will probably do the shoveling.
I would imagine he probably might, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
we
think
have-
they're gonna do maintenance. I mean, if the roof shingles blow off, that's their problem, that
Or the
sort of thing.
paint or
But,
whatever.
yeah, but I think
Yeah.
Rick will probably do the snow removal. Yes,
Just because they're putting solar on, and I know that solar affects your insurance, did it affect the insurance for that building because of the fire hazards?
fire hazard.
Don't know.
There's,
I don't know.
it's very hard to fight a roof fire with electrical panels on because they have to have them disconnected from all electricity before any fire department can go up on.
So you're wondering if because it's an attached building, it's gonna impact our insurance?
Well, from what I understood from the presentation, our insurance is covering that addition, so that's why I'm asking.
Because it's
Okay.
Tamworth, right?
We'll look into it.
And then my second question is, the amendment is an amendment, so their 99-year lease is continuance on the original lease?
Correct.
Because this is only
Right.
an amendment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was not at the last meeting. Excuse me. How did you end up with paving?
I've got something to read. I was gonna wait for my select board report.
It's okay, I'll be here a while.
I can do it
It
now.
makes sense to do it
It
now.
might- Yeah, it makes sense to do it now. Let's see if I can find it.
Well, I have another question. Do they clean their own building now?
Yeah.
Yep.
As the TCNA building project is near completion, the construction manager advised that there probably will be enough left in the contingency to pay for paving the gravel area of the town office parking lot if TCNA wants to do so. The site plan engineer has confirmed that water runoff will not be an issue with the added hard surface area. Richard Roberts is in favor of the extra paving. It will be easier to maintain, better for folks with mobility issues, and better for winter farmers market. The parking area originally had 29 paved spaces. With the new paving, we will have 35 paved spaces. With this information, the TCNA Board of Directors has voted to use their contingency funds to go ahead with paving because despite the added expense, it is in the community's best interest to do so. Note that the parking area will be closed while paving is in progress, hopefully to be done on Monday when there is less demand for village parking.
On a Monday?
A Monday, not this Monday.
And does it say in that email we go from like 26 paved spots to 37 or something?
29 to 35.
29 to 35.
So I didn't hear the answer to my question.
They're gonna pave the whole
Are they gonna
thing.
pay all the way to the main road?
Oh,
That was the question.
oh,
That was not clear.
no, they're not gonna pave probably from the back door of this building, this section, to the road. It was determined that that pavement was in good shape. So
I'm gonna ask one more time.
okay,
The question was,
Yeah.
between Emery and whoever that representative was from
Yeah.
the nursing, about whether you were paving, whether they were paving all the way to the street.
Oh, okay, no, they're
No,
not.
his question was about paving the gravel
back
part of
end.
the lot, because he thought they were gonna pave the gravel part. And at the last meeting, TCNA sent a letter showing us the original plans all the way through, that was never part of the plan, that those upper slots weren't supposed to be paved. But now they've come back and said they have extra money and they're willing to put it toward paving it, even though that wasn't part of the original plan.
Are they gonna
Finally got
stripe
my
it
answer.
too?
What's that?
Will they stripe it for the parking spaces? They will.
Yeah.
You people have to understand, if I had a stroke several years ago,
Yeah,
my words are not, they don't always come out the right way. May not come out the way I want it to come out.
Okay, well.
And I'm gonna apologize for that,
No, no,
okay?
and,
well, just stick with us while we figure out what you want,
yeah,
though. Because we're trying to answer your question. But you got it, you got the right answer? That was the answer you wanted?
I got an answer,
Okay.
thank you.
okay, we did end up voting on the amendment, didn't we?
No,
Okay, roll call vote.
Do you say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
We will move on to building notification form review.
I know if you have it, this is a copy of the form.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, thank you. I should have showed up, but you got to roll this.
Does that have all 3 pages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's mostly the same information. The old form was like different old pieces of paper that had been copied several times and were kind of hard to read in different fonts. So it was all just typed up with the same font, and there's been some minor changes to make it more readable. I think the old form did not mention the groundwater protection ordinance because there wasn't one, so that was added. So that's the new form.
Can I say something about this?
Yeah,
Sure.
The form is wrong.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Quick.
Tell us.
The RSA at the top of the building, Town of Tamworth Building Notification Ordinance, Article 1, the RSA 3139
Can you hand me the copy of it?
was adopted in 2009.
Just looking for the
And
rest.
it is to see if the town will vote to adopt the town
Oh,
ordinance
that one, okay.
to prohibit animals not used to assist disabled persons or smoking from certain public properties. So for a long time, that has been wrong.
So you're saying 3139 is wrong, and so when I copied it over from the old one, it's the wrong one?
But I
Okay.
mean, I think it's been wrong for years.
Yeah.
All the way back almost to
So I,
2005.
and any time, I mean, it's like, it has gone through a lot of revisions, and every time it goes through a revision.
We missed that one? Okay.
It goes to town meeting to be voted on, because that's where it originally came from. It was first at the March 9th, 2004 meeting, then they had to vote on it again in 2009, 2007, and then 2009 because it was invalid. So every time it goes through any type of revision, it goes back to town meeting, well, not town meeting, actually, it goes on the ballot.
Because it's a zoning.
Because
it
it's
started
an
with the zoning
ordinance.
board.
So it's kind of like any changes. But I thought, you know, somebody brought that to the attention that it's not right.
Okay. So, so it's been wrong on the form forever.
I don't know what the first one was.
Yep.
Or I know this one shows that it was adopted in 2007.
Yep.
I don't know what was changed in.
So at least so the reference to the RSA number is wrong.
Right, but it's right in the ordinance, so I think in order to change it and make it right,
Yep.
it has to be re-voted on. Because it's
On the ballot.
invalid, just like it was in 2007 and 9. Because it came back in 2010, building permit ordinance, invalid as originally adopted, replaced in 2007. This was all from the planning board too.
Well,
Well, we won't approve the new form then.
No,
Let's
we won't.
Let's
Yeah.
chat with Sheldon and chat with our attorneys about, because it
Yeah,
seems
'cause we-
silly to have a ballot measure to approve a form, but if
Well,
that's what we have to do,
you're
that's
changing
what we
the
have to do.
ordinance. You're changing the ordinance with the right information because
Well-
it's been wrong.
Well, it was not our intention to change the
No,
ordinance,
no,
but
no.
if the ordinance is
Well,
wrong,
I
we
mean,
need to fix
that's
that.
what his history has done, is every time it's been invalid, it goes back to a ballot vote. Because it's an ordinance. So it's not as simple as
Yeah,
just changing the paperwork because someone pointed this out that it was to keep dogs off the lawn and no smoking at the rec field.
no dog smoking.
No.
No smoking dogs. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I think that was it for old business. Let's go to the administrative.
Bank balance is $2,480,103. I spent the whole week working on the transfer station. Yeah, that's really what I focused on this week.
Okey dokey. We'll go to the signature file. I move to accept the meeting minutes from April 18th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
I'm gonna see whether I can get away with this, maybe Ed will correct me if I can. I move to accept all the non-public meeting minutes from April 18th, 2024, sessions 1, 2, and 3.
Second,
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
What do you think?
I don't know what the question is.
Well, the question is, they usually read through the whole thing, RSA 91A, 32A, Session 1. I mean, I thought that was unnecessary, we could just approve the non-public meeting minutes.
It's very efficient.
There's no date
There's
on
no
it.
date on all those.
2024 said.
Oh, did I not put the date on?
Yeah.
From 2024.
But he said, Carl said the date in his motion.
It is April 18th.
Yeah. Move to accept the timber yield tax for map 212, lot 23, sublot 6 for $656.99.
Second.
Did you vote on the non-public
Nope.
minutes?
No.
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
We
Made
decided
the
about
motion
either.
and the second, roll call vote.
Roll call
You
vote.
said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Apologize for the interruption.
Thank you.
That's okay.
No.
Timber yield tax, I seconded.
You seconded it. Roll call vote.
You said yes.
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Thank you. I move to accept the timber yield tax for map 419, lot 7 for $531.46.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
I move to accept the timber yield tax for map 407, lot 98 and 98-1 for $3,024.17.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to accept the excavation yield tax for map 202, lot 9, $21.48.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to accept the excavation yield tax for map 214, lot 162, sublot 2 for $378.72.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to accept the excavation yield tax for map 218, lot 98 for $89.80.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
Very yes.
Prentice, yes.
We have accepted the revised lease for TCNA. Move to approve the elderly exemption for map 218, lot 77.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
There, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to accept the elderly exemption for map 210, lot 6.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
There, yes.
Prentice, yes.
I move to approve the application for a raffle at Bear Camp Valley Sportsman's Club.
Second.
Roll call vote.
You said yes?
There, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to approve the payroll manifest for $39,459.95
Second.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Move to approve the accounts payable for $321,391.18.
Second.
It's just please.
Oh, boy.
Should be
There's
in the
a-
back.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah, there's a sticky on
Little
it.
sticker on it.
There you go.
Yeah, there's two documents.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
Found it. 255,000 for the school, 18,600 for the ambulance, 16,500 for insurance,
And miscellaneous,
and
everything else.
some small items as well.
Thank you.
Roll call vote.
You say yes?
Barry, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Cash used year to date, $3,796,606.09. Select board update.
Was our last meeting, last time we were here is the 18th, yeah?
Yeah.
On April 22nd, the Lakes Region Planning Commission had one of their monthly meetings. It was at Reynolds Hall. Lean and I were both there. It was a very informative presentation by their solid waste planner, Matt Rose. And it was another presentation, and I can't remember what it was. I was focused on,
Brownfields.
brownfields, you're right.
And they have a lot of grant funding to help communities assess contamination of sites so that they can use them for productive community projects.
Yeah. What else? Attended the planning board meeting on Wednesday the 24th to inform them that the potential acquisition of the North Country Recycling property was no longer under consideration. It's our understanding that property is under agreement with another buyer, but we had a short conversation about the issue, and I give them a historical overview of how we got to where we are. So our task going forward is to figure out, okay, what can we do to make our transfer station the best that it can be with the resources we have, so that process restarts again. And that's it for me.
Casting my mind back, I think I went to a sewer commission meeting since the last select board meeting, and they are still struggling with Department of, what is it?
Environmental
Environmental Services, DES.
They did have a meeting with DES. Was it anything fruitful come of that?
Yeah, we went down to Concord and met with them, and I think at this point, they've been trying for some time now to amend the permit, the existing permit, and it's just not working out for DES. And so I think the solution will be to apply for a brand new permit with just the existing services on that permit and see if they can get that approved. And then if there are going to be any additions or changes to it, it will be an application for a change of use or added use, whatever, and then it can be approved or disapproved at that time. But they can't seem to get DES to approve an amendment to the existing permit, so I think they're going to have to start over with a brand new permit. But it's been a struggle just to get there. That's it.
Yep. Planning board, we had planning board meeting last week, typical, lots of hearings, but the interesting part is on May 15th, we have 2 work sessions open to the public. The first one is at 5 o'clock for an hour to talk about the master plan and what it would look like to start that process again of revising the master plan, because it hasn't been, most of it hasn't been updated since 2008. And so this particular work session, the planning board's invited some people who were quite involved in the last process, just to talk to them about the process and how that went, and to see if they had feedback about what went really well or what they would do differently in a reboot. Also to kind of talk about whether or not there's a benefit to revising the whole master plan, which has several chapters, or taking it over time, chapter by chapter. So that's 15th at 5. Following that at 6 o'clock, we have the first draft of the build-out analysis back, and I think it's EB, is it EB engineering? No, it's not
FB.
FB engineering is working on it, and we've seen the first draft, and it just looks like chaos to people like me who are not familiar with this kind of mapping. So there's going to be a representative talking to us about what we're seeing in this draft and what that information means, and how we might as a town use it, and asking us if there's more information that we want to have added. It like plans out the next 200 years of growth in town, or potential growth, using whatever data and trends we have at this time. So that starts at 6. Public is welcome to come to that too. Then with that feedback, the engineering team goes back and tweaks and reconfigures based on our feedback and questions, and then we'll end up, I think at the end of June, with a final draft that we can use. Did you say 200 years? Yeah, it's something crazy. It's like, it goes out to 2,300, right? Yeah, it's huge. There are dots covering every inch of Tamworth that's possibly buildable, and then some. It's, I don't understand it, but hopefully I will on May 15th, so people are invited to that too. That's what I have.
Okay.
All right, is there public input? Yes, Becky?
Leanne, since you're the planning board representative, when you go on the planning board site, they redid a bunch of their things, but under regulations, they have the town of Tamworth building requirements on their webpage. And the groundwater protection ordinance wasn't added to that when they were updating their,
Oh, it's not on there yet?
no.
Okay.
And it does say it in their building requirements, that, again, this all came from the planning board. It says it does not quote an RSA under building notification, but it does say you have to apply for one, and it says the effective date was 3/10/04.
That was the first time.
That was the first time, so I guess it sort of has to go through the planning board before it can go anywhere else, because it actually came out of the planning board as part of their original subdivisions and all that crap.
Yeah, so we talked about it at the planning board first, and they said, well, that's an assessing office tool. So they gave input and said the assessing office should just, the select board should approve it for the.
But just so you know that if it's updated, it's gotta go on their regulations as well as anything else.
Yep.
And then my second thing had to do with, only because of history, that because you're staffing the transfer station, one, is the new person going to be full part-time? And you're gonna advertise for a director, is what I understood, correct?
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, and because you've got people covering, it's under RSA 275-32, because we almost got hung by it. And it's called Sunday work. And it's whoever requires an employee engaged in an occupation to do Sunday the usual work of his occupation, unless he is allowed during 6 days, the next ensuing 24 hours have to be a day of no work.
Say that-
Otherwise, you can be fined $50. for
Sounds like
every occurrence.
Massachusetts law.
Say it again?
It's called Sunday Day of Rest, and we
Yeah.
don't usually, we ran into it
275.32
because
RSA.
sometimes people would work 14, 15 days in a row, because a full-time person works
Mm-hmm.
5 days a week, and you're working them on Sunday too. If they don't take a day off in that 6-day period, you can be fined by the Labor Department.
Yeah.
It's RSA 275.32.
And that happened in the wintertime with snowstorms. That if
Mm.
it snowed on Monday,
Yeah.
he went in and worked and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
so it added 4 days.
Yeah. So the key is to make sure that the transportation
It's a day of
supervisor
rest.
takes
A day
Monday and
off.
Tuesday off.
Or a day off during a 7-day period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Because they work on Sundays.
Yeah.
Because we
Right.
ran into that, and we caught it, and addressed it before the Labor Department decided to come in and touch it.
So is it advertised full, part-time?
Full-time, full.
And these people that are coming in and filling in, they're certified?
Not yet.
They are all registered to be certified, and I'm in close contact with the DES.
Okay.
As long as they have their application in, they've got 30 days.
They actually have 30 days until the application has to be in,
Oh, okay.
Right.
but we'll get it in
And a
soon.
couple had it, but it had lapsed.
Yep.
What days does a full-time employee work and hours? How's it break down, do you know?
Currently, it's Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and whatever 2 other days. I don't know what Glenn's days off were. So the way the job description reads is the 3 days it's open to the public and a couple of other days. And I think I realized when I was looking at the job description, I think it said Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and 3 other days. It should say 2 other days.
Does it say 3?
I think I typed in 3 by mistake.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of detail you'd work out, maybe the applicant would want Monday, Tuesday, or maybe want Tuesday, Wednesday, or who knows.
Open Wednesday.
I think it
Not
also
Wednesday.
depended on what days they were coming in for pickup, for transfer, because
Right.
Glenn would
Right,
vary
when the
based on
containers are
what
getting-
days the
Right.
containers were being switched
Right.
out and stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
In the past, non-public meeting minutes were always posted online, and for some reason it lapsed. And a year-to-date has never been online. Those are, I think, 2 of the biggest things that are always requested in a 91A request. Would the board consider posting those online? I know the ones that are sealed
Mhm.
won't
Yeah.
get on there.
Yeah, I
but-
don't see why not.
I don't see what's year to date?
Year-to-date is like what it's,
Amount spent.
It's on.
what you've spent.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Each-
money.
the money,
I was thinking
the
of a
finances.
report, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, something Elaine would generate.
Yeah.
How long, I don't know, how long has it been since the non-publics were not? I know we keep them in the office, but it's been a long time?
Darlene started it, I think, in
Yeah.
2011.
When did
Yeah.
it stop is what I'm asking.
I don't know, I would have to go back to see.
I mean, I don't see-
Just post them all
Well,
whenever.
and
Post
the
them
thing
all
is,
together, it
it's,
doesn't
that's
matter.
usually
Yeah,
a request, and it's like if they're on there,
yep,
it was kind of the same thing that used to be requested a lot was the tax cards, and once we put them on the website, the 91As dropped,
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I don't see why there'd be any problem with that.
No?
Mhm.
Can you just add that to the?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else?
I just, was wondering if maybe the board, and not that anybody wants it, but it seems appropriate for Glenn to get some sort of plaque or something to post at the transfer station. I mean, I
Last
do
night.
believe he was one of the oldest, long-running
Longest,
employees
yeah.
that we've had,
Yeah,
and that has been his forte for
Mhm.
40 years, or more, 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking internally about appropriate way to recognize his service, and we haven't decided on it yet, but the plaque's good.
that's a great idea. Yeah.
he has been on the cover of the town report.
Numerous times.
He probably holds the record.
I have a quick
Yeah.
thing here. Mark,
Yep.
registered voter. The signers of this petition want to present it to the select board, the chairman, whoever that is tonight. And this is a petition so that any property acquisition or sale of present or future transfer station be brought before the voters at the town meeting per RSA 4114A. Okay, so I just want to give it to you guys.
All right. No,
Carl gets the honor
I got the
tonight.
honor tonight.
Thank you.
But speaking of that, we should recognize that Emery's not here tonight because he is with his brand new little baby boy.
Oh,
Who was
that's
born.
great.
Yep,
That's excellent.
Daniel Aker.
Yeah.
Daniel
Yeah.
Baker Roberts.
Senior
So-
acre?
Yep.
Okay.
So he's got the best reason for not being here.
So question about the petition, it's about any future potential acquisition, not any particular one.
Yes,
Transfer
exactly.
station related.
Well, yeah, it's just, it was just a thing that, and again, it wasn't to show anyone was for or against, just that they wanna be involved when that kind of a big thing has the potential of happening, the town. should
Is the
be
petition
involved.
say transfer station or any property?
It
He
says
said
Transfer
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 station.
station,
Yep.
yep.
And at this point, I don't know if that would ever happen, but
Yeah,
might
we
to have
don't know.
those.
Yeah, but it's,
No,
Who knows what the future holds?
Will you be going to the Conservation Commission, continue with the,
Just to, I'm there anyway because I'm our rep, but yes,
Yeah.
to let them know for sure that the deal is no longer a deal.
yeah, and public hearings?
Nope.
No, none of those,
Don't even need to go to the Conservation Commission or the Planning Board now.
right?
But certainly the hearings won't hold for a project that is not a project.
Yeah. Are there any plans? I mean, what is the status
Um,
of the transfer station?
We try to figure out what's the best we can do with the site we have, so.
I mean, we have approval for a septic system and well,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
So, I mean, that seems like a bathroom would be the
Yep.
least, the.
That's our primary goal is build a bathroom, and if you can build it big enough with a workspace in it, you know, a garage maybe to hold your equipment so that the equipment doesn't sit out in the snow and the rain, and install a scale, and who knows what happens after that. But at least those are my two goals.
Yeah,
For this year, so that money doesn't,
Right.
The ARPA
Right.
funds will expire at the end of the year, right?
I don't know what the
No.
dates are on those.
26?
The ARPA funds have to be in contract by the end of the year. They would expire if you didn't use them by the end of 2026.
And the contract that was with G. Wendell Brooks, are you guys in contact with them to see if they will come back and do it, or?
I haven't been, no.
But we need to be because they actually have
Thanks.
some septic tanks of ours that we
Mhm.
bought.
That the town already bought?
Yeah.
Right.
For the
Yeah.
sewer, yeah. So I think, I mean, wouldn't that be like your next step is to,
yeah.
The next step is decide what happens, and the primary goal is the bathroom first. Yes, it will happen.
so it will be the Selectmen or the Transfer Station Improvement Committee?
It's always the selectmen. We
Okay.
get advice from T6 when we ask for it. And I
But-
can't say even how long Transportation Improvement Committee will exist. I really don't know. Our next meeting is the third Monday of the month, whatever date that is, the 20th of May or something.
But I mean, I think that until T-SIG officially notifies us that they are not continuing on with planning
Mhm.
for a renovation at the transfer station, I'm expecting that T-SIG remains the authority on this project.
Well, it's their role
The
is
advisory, yeah,
to advise us, yes.
so I'm
But
not,
my assumption is that they'll stay involved, but we'll find out on the 20th.
yeah.
I think people are pretty disappointed, as weird thing as personally, I'm not. Life is simpler right now for me. So I'll be there on the 20th and we'll figure out what happens.
Yeah.
And before the end of the year, there will be plans exactly as to what we're gonna do, and construction may start before the end of the year. I really can't say for sure.
yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's already May, and I mean, most contractors are already, you know, booked for the summer. It's like, I would think that the sooner you guys can get in contact with
We'll do the
right
best we
people,
can.
yeah, yeah,
That's all.
just so that you can get contracts or whatever to get it going.
Yeah. Becky, and then
We'll let her go.
Barb.
Barb.
Barb Bloomberg. Yeah, just a thought, when you're making space for office and whatever, as much as you can, consider what other recyclables that could be going, could
Understood.
be
Yeah.
recycled as well, please.
And it's not an office, it's a bathroom with workspace if there's
Space.
room for it, and a scale.
Mhm.
Anything we do to improve our recycling capacity, that was the goal of the town meeting approval, and we hope to do that.
So,
But our site does not lend itself to our ultimate goals, so
Yeah, I
our
understand.
ability to improve recycling is very limited.
I understand. But the scale is a priority over a compactor or a baler? That surprises me.
I don't know at this point. I think if you talk to anybody about transfer stations, they will all say every transfer station needs a scale. So whether you do zero recycling or the best recyclers on the planet, you should have a scale.
We pay by the ton to have our trash hauled away, and when someone comes with demolition or construction debris, we just try to estimate the cubic feet
Yes.
and charge them that way, and
Can't do it that way.
No.
it's not equitable. So a scale is critical.
And later on, when you compact,
Yeah,
and if you're trying to reach a certain weight
right,
per your compacted material, you gotta weigh it,
yeah.
you know?
So it'll be, I think that's a priority.
Is any of this gonna be built down at the base of the area?
Can't say anything's possible.
It is, I mean, I know you guys have looked into a lot of different options and I just.
I think, certainly I've thought a lot about that. Once you split into two places, it spreads the staff out, which is already very thin. We have very minimal staff. So that's a possibility, but it makes it difficult.
If you have a scale, you need someone on the scale all the time. So that takes a full-time staff when the transfer station's open.
So we may utilize that land.
That area down below.
So the scale, that would just be for big trucks though, right?
No,
No.
it's for anybody who has C&D, construction demolition waste.
Okay. And
Not
then
your regular garbage.
how do you?
Not the
just-
household trash.
Well, right.
Yeah,
No,
yes, Becky?
Well,
You can.
if you put a scale in, then you've got vendors that Glenn kept saying, you have these venues that are bringing in,
Right.
and commercials that are picking up, those are the people that you can start charging a commercial rate for
Right.
trash
Yep.
versus
That is
with
on,
the scale.
that is on my mind.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
that's one of the reasons to have a scale. It's not the only
It's
reason.
not in the policy
The
yet. but it's
increased
possible.
fees for tires, there's a very good chance that there's gonna be different fees proposed before the end of the year.
Yeah.
My preference would be, commercial entities, they pay for it to dispose of their trash, and the way they pay is we weigh it.
Yep.
So that's always been my desire.
So then maybe they'll get a dumpster at their site.
Yeah,
Whatever.
motivate them to do
Well,
that.
Whatever,
But
yeah.
that's
So
the
they pay
thing,
for it
if you
either way.
go to many other towns that have scales, you'll see residential
Yeah.
and you see commercial.
Yeah. So
And
there's,
commercial, I'm sorry, the commercial is both like haulers that pick up trash or.
no,
and
commercial is any business.
Contractors, any business.
Any
Okay,
business,
yeah.
restaurant, whatever.
Okay,
Particularly restaurants, because they create a lot of waste and it's heavy.
Or like the wedding venues, I mean,
Right,
that's commercial.
gotcha.
So there's still a lot of work ahead to figure out what would the permit system be and what would the fees be going forward. But to separate and have a separate commercial rate, I think it depends on the scale.
Yep.
Go ahead, Becky. Go. You
No, go
finish
ahead.
up.
Well, I just wanted to bring up, I thought you would bring it up again, but that the EV
Yeah.
Antique Car Show is Sunday
Sunday.
from 9 to noon.
My wife thanks you for remembering.
And paperwork went out concerning the community power presentation with the wrong address on
wrong
it, so I
address.
corrected that today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, to have the town
Uh,
office
that's-
website and not the union hall.
That's gonna be the only presentation.
Well, there's been 2 other presentations.
Uh,
But it's the only presentation after the town meeting vote, yes.
Correct. And it's gonna be Zoomed and it's going to be videotaped.
Yep.
So,
And a lot of people probably have gotten the notice in the mail already from Community Power.
Yeah.
And to that, I have to say, I was very surprised at how good the rate was. Their lowest rate,
Yeah.
you know, was
Yeah.
very good.
It may even be better,
I think in the future, the difference between Community Power of New Hampshire and Eversource will be much greater than it
Oh,
is.
yeah, well,
Because
the-
Eversource rates are likely to creep up, and Community Power of New Hampshire, their goal is to always be lower. And right now, it's only a penny lower, and in the future, I think the distance will be greater.
The letters that we just all get in the mail, who paid to send those?
Tamworth
They have a,
Community
they have their,
Power.
they have a
We
budget.
didn't.
They have their own budget?
The energy committee.
was
No,
it?
the energy committee didn't pay. It's
Oh, they
the-
didn't?
It's the community power organization.
Of New
Okay.
Hampshire.
It's not the town then?
No.
No.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Because the energy committee does have a budget for.
yeah, but they didn't pay for
it's,
that.
it's very small.
I'm sure, real quick, do you guys know, because it's one thing that wasn't on there, and I would be interested, what towns are affiliated with Community Energy?
As soon as you go on community energy, you can
The
see the
map.
26.
Okay,
It's about
Yeah.
a third of the towns in the state,
All right, okay.
and it's growing, because people see that they're gonna get a better deal than whatever it was.
The only other question that came up that because I can't make the meeting, I will open the building, is there going to be something set up either with the library or around that people who don't have the computer access and stuff, if they want to opt out, can come like a day and meet with people to help them opt out?
It's a good
It's a
suggestion.
good idea.
Important because there's a lot of
They
people who
could.
don't have computers or
Yep.
internet.
They could, was there a phone number too? I thought-
There's
I
a phone
assume so,
number,
but-
yes, they can call.
But we can suggest that to Gabrielle, I'm sure that's a good idea. If she hasn't already thought of it.
Yeah.
Did you have something, Melanie?
Yeah, I wanted to say, when I was a selectman and the whole transfer station was starting, I spoke with some great people from Maine Scales that came over and we met and went over the whole scales of where it could go, the different places, at the bottom, you know, and cut some of the trees. It was like there was not a problem to get a scale there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's gotta be down on the flat there.
Yeah, it was down at the bottom, and then it was even the construction waste was down there for easier access to unload it and all of that. So,
I'm meeting on site with Matt Rose, who's the solid waste planner from LRPC, who used to run a transfer station elsewhere, to get some input on those kinds of things. And we'll certainly reach out to companies that sell and install scales as well before we make any decisions. Because it's, not only does the scale take up space, but you need to come and go on a
Ramp.
pretty flat surface.
right,
So
yep,
it takes up more space than you initially would think.
yep. Did anybody else get to go down and meet with TJ at the OSAP?
Steve
Steve-
Schaefer and I
We
did.
went.
Yeah, I knew you did.
Carl and I
We've
went
gone last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very helpful.
yeah, so hopefully you guys can tap into
Yeah.
that too, where,
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that within a year, the scale had paid for itself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it changed. And we heard similar things in Guilford and Molten Borough last year.
And didn't he mention that, like, he could help you guys figure out how to get one installed and stuff, and I mean, like, because he did the work.
Their highway department did the install,
Yeah.
so that they have the transfer station and highway department work under him, so it's easier to work together as one department than two departments. But, so that information was very helpful.
But one thing he did say was when they originally installed it, they had to reinstall it because it wasn't,
I think
they needed space underneath it because of gravel built up, whatever. They ended up redoing it because of
you want
a
a
poor
concrete
design the
pad
first
under it
time.
and room to clean out.
Otherwise, things rust out.
Yeah, because you get
Yeah.
salt and dirt falling down in there, you gotta be able to hose it out. Anyway,
Okay, one other thing, is the nurses amended agreement, is that public?
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks.
One quick thing,
yes,
the plastic might have a solution for the transfer station. I noticed that recycling is not including plastic, or at least last time I was there,
Mhm.
because it's hard to find a buyer for it.
Yep.
There's a new technology coming out where you can distill plastic into fuel.
Huh.
I myself am just looking into it. It just popped into my head that, oh, I just watched a video on that.
Wow,
That
that's
might be
amazing.
something to look into for helping out with the recycling
Yeah,
situation.
hadn't heard that. I think plastic is a real problem recycling wise. There's certainly value in a small percentage of the plastic, number ones and number twos, but other than that, there's no market right now. So if they can
Right.
find a way to do something with it, you know, going forward, that would be very helpful. I mean, nationwide, worldwide. So we'll certainly look into that. Thank you.
I think that a bottle bill in the state of New Hampshire would be huge.
Yeah.
Maine has it, there's no, you don't.
Everybody around us has it.
But I mean, there's no garbage on the sides of the roads, and you just look at how many water bottles, soda, beer cans, everything that we're getting rid of,
Yeah.
that people would be
Yeah.
returning to get
Yeah.
their 5 cents or whatever, but I mean, I think that if, like the T-stick, if you guys could get on Concord's
Radar for
somebody
that.
on there and say, you
Yeah.
know, this would help the towns
Yeah.
locally, all the
Yeah.
little towns.
No, that's.
The issue with that has always been the cost to the purchaser in the beginning,
Yeah.
you know.
An extra 5 cents per whatever,
Exactly.
But
which everybody else doesn't mind paying, or I guess they're stuck
They've
with
done
it.
it,
whether or
they've done
not-
it for so many years,
Right.
like in Maine, but like when I go to Maine, I don't buy a case of water at Sam's because I don't pay that 5 cents because I can't return it, but, I
Yeah.
mean, it's.
But we paid it on our taxes because we're paying to get rid of all
Get
that
rid of it,
trash.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's, the sides of the roads are cleaner.
Yeah,
and the quality of the recyclables is better, so they can actually get some money for them.
Yeah.
I was in Connecticut when they introduced a bottle bill there, and that was the only argument that was put forth by
It's gonna cost.
the industries basically, and it was proven not to be an issue at all, really, for what it's worth. But anyway, yeah, I agree
Okay.
with you.
With that, I am going to move to go into non.
Oh, this is Maureen Diamond, if I may make a question, please.
Sure.
Sorry to, very quick, a question about the sewer commission. And Carl, I think I know the answer, but I'd rather ask and rather than assume. If they do apply for a new permit and there are permit costs and legal costs associated with that, that's paid by the sewer commission, isn't it?
Right, they have a budget of their own, and that would be on them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
and their budget is funded by their ratepayers.
right. Okay, and now I move into non-public session under RSA 91A:32C, Session 1, and
With two.
RSA 91A:32A,
Non-public.
Session 2.
Second,
Roll call vote.
did you say yes?
There, yes?
Prince, yes.
Now
6:05.
non-public at 6:06.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You introduced.
Oh, bite your tongue.
I said, I hope this isn't an indication of what summer's like.
I had that same fear this morning, because we did have a summer like this.
Last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
It was wet.
It's all that
Well, you know, they
classy-
say that we're gonna have much wetter
I thought it was
summers.
gonna be hot and wet this year.
It's gonna be
Gross.
cloudy and wet, because that's what they're doing to us.
It's 6:37.
I make a motion to
Thank
come
you.
out of non-public session at 6:37.
Second,
Roll call vote.
did you say yes?
There, yes.
Prince, yes.
The minutes are not sealed. I move to adjourn.
Second.
And our future meetings will start at 6, not at 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Am I changing those or?
I was gonna send you an email. Yeah,
Okay. I'm never sure because I'm
yes.
supposed to be doing it.
Did,
Good night.
send